Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Talking That Talk official podcast, where we have comfortable and uncomfortable conversation. I am your host, Juice, aka No Ordinary Brother.
All right, what's good, world? Welcome back to your favorite podcast. I go by the name of King Exodus, aka X. We appreciate everybody for tapping in. Make sure you share the live. Make sure you follow us, Talking That Talk official podcast on IG, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, Talking That Talk official podcast. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna talk about something very important tonight. Hopefully, it provokes thought within people that's watching and tapping in. We're gonna talk about blessings and complaints, right? The origin behind how this episode was formulated really just comes based about perception. You feel me? You have throughout life what one person is complaining about, somebody else has something worse that they encounter. You feel me? It's really just based on one's perception. And sometimes some people can have so many blessings in front of them, so many things that they should be happy about, optimistic about, but instead they're pessimistic because the specifics aren't adding up properly. You know what I'm saying? You can overlook what's right in front of you based on this warped vision in your mind of what a blessing is or where you should be in life. So we're going to talk about progression throughout life, how people conceptualize their problems, how people deal with their problems. And we're going to talk about things that people should be thankful for on an everyday basis that we don't give their proper gratitude for. So that's a brief intro to the origin behind the topic. So we're going to kick it off. Juice, what you got on blessings and complaints?
Oh, man. They always say count your blessings and don't complain about things that go on in your life. Everything that you have in your life, somebody else is praying for, and things that you complain about, you know what I'm saying, doesn't even matter. One of my favorite things I was reading today, there was like this quote. It was talking about, look, the more you complain about the blessings you receive, and the more your blessings will disappear. And I register with that a lot because the minute I hear somebody complain, I'll be like, man, I'm not working with this person because I don't like hearing complaining, right? And people don't pay attention if you nag, if you do certain stuff like that. It can actually turn somebody off who's actually wants to help you progress, or put somebody within your circle, or somebody who helped mentor you, or somebody help you out. But if everything about you has always been a downer, nothing been an upper, nothing shows like, hey, empowerment or progress in your life. Nobody wants to be around that or put somebody else around that type of energy. That type of energy is very draining. You know, we want people we can be around that can help us make progress, that make us feel good about seeing them make progress. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And just trailing off on what you're talking about, tapping in, we have to be thankful for our relationships and look at the positive relationships that we have as blessings and actually take advantage of these relationships within the proper terms. We definitely don't want to bring pessimistic energy towards our positive relationships because it's like you're working against yourself. So being able to have people that you can count on, being able to have people that can, even if it's something simple as having somebody that you can call just to give you a laugh. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people undermine happiness and laughter and joy to that particular value. If you got somebody that can make you laugh, if you have people that you can call in a time of need, it don't have to be a million people. And some people will complain about these blessings because it's not the multitude that they want. You know what I'm saying? They don't have 20 people they can contact. They just got 5. Okay. You appreciate that 5 and you categorize that 5 as a tremendous blessing. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too caught up in a numbers game. Look at the value of the type of relationships that you have. So being able to have people at your disposal, whether it be like mentors, teachers, parents, family members, friends, on whatever level they can provide positive energy towards your life, I would definitely say count that as a blessing. You know what I mean? Some people complain because they don't get all the energy that they want out of specific relationships. Okay. You still have to value what you're getting on the positive side from that relationship. You know what I'm saying? Some people say, well, my parents didn't love me the way I wanted to be loved. Okay, that's cool. There's 2 ways to look at that. A, you did get some type of love. 2, maybe the lack of the love that you feel as though you should have received, that may be the fuel that you're using now as an adult to go out there and produce better conducive living situations for yourself. That might be fuel for you to be a better person than somebody else and love them more. So you always have to look at what they say the glass is always half full. It's based on simply based on your perception. So most definitely you want to look at your positive relationships as blessings. So
Hmm. Well, I'm definitely a big person when it comes to relationship building, right? I believe relationships are the uh, key points to why you make progress and why you don't make progress.
mm-hmm.
Why you need to stay around some relationships, why you need to release some relationships. And sometimes it can be the individuals around you that may not make you see how blessed you are, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
things that people don't have in their life that you have that they actually are very jealous of. But they'll
Mm-hmm.
make you feel like you're not blessed to actually have it because they're complaining about something they want that you have, right? I've seen that a lot growing up, right? And I don't think people pay attention to it, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
because you might not have had as much as the next person didn't mean you didn't have the void that was inside of them that was fulfilled at your home.
Right.
We're gonna talk about that a lot, right? You know what I'm saying? We talk about uh, dramatic lifestyles that people have, whether it was dealing with a lot of money or sometimes when they're dealing with a lot of
Mm-hmm.
money. It's like they said, what they say, the love, the love is there when you come home and people are going home sometimes and never feeling love. We got to
Mm-hmm.
be able to home in on the times that make us feel better. Like I said, as I'm getting older myself, I really don't waste too much time with people who complain about life.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's difficult. I know we're gonna all go through our own scenarios and situations,
Mm-hmm.
but my main focus is to always make progress, right? You might hear me talk shit about something for like 1 minute, and after that, I'm like, all right, bro, I just gotta keep going. You gotta be able to detach yourself from negative emotions in an instant. You never want to carry that on with you as you move forward, right? Yeah, I do understand, like, to the naked eye, when it comes to aura energy, there's definitely uh, something that's surrounding you that people will attract to and people will push back from. It's to the naked eye. Like people don't want to talk about that, right? People want to be
Mm-hmm.
like, and then people also talk about like everybody thinks because they move in a positive way, negative stuff is not going to happen to them. It's how you react to becoming a positive individual, how you negate situations and negative energy away from you, right? You got to be able to course correct.
Mm-hmm. Facts. And bringing it back into perspective, more so in the conversation, you have light and you have darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And some people want to separate the two on a moral based level, but if you just look at it on a scientific level, light comes from darkness.
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? If you look at it biblically speaking, the light came out of darkness. So a lot of people can compare darkness to mostly your mind, tapping into your inner thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
bringing what's in your mind into actual reality, manifesting what's within. So we have to appreciate the totality of life. So being able to have a thought within my mind and being able to materialize that thought is most definitely a blessing. And some people complain about the things that they create out of their own mind. They say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we cooking tonight, man. That's why they say, hey, be careful what you ask for. You have to be careful also what you think
All the
about.
time.
Right? If we actually could study thought, feel me, your thought has frequencies within itself. They can actually test this shit out within the laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
See your thought transmitting energy. So you definitely want to materialize the positive things, and negative things will occur as well, like you were saying, but that's just the totality of life. You have to be able to draw from both. And then being able to transmutate both into a positive, bending reality at your own will, that's a blessing. You know what I mean? So a lot of people walk around being victims of life and not being conquerors of life. Feel me? So you have two different people, right, that can experience the same realities, the same situations, the same opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
One person is going to have the advantage, the person that can see some of this shit as a blessing. You feel me? So I always say, hey, look, if I can die and come back, I'll still come back black. You know what I'm saying? That is the biggest, I feel like, advantage being within this current world because what you got to work 10 times harder for. A lot of
Right.
people undermine the aspect of hard work, but that should solidify your longevity because you have to work harder to get there. You feel me? Some people just want shit so easy without any type of opposition, without any types of challenges. And then you have other people that aren't black that look at black people and they admire that grit, that hustle, that perseverance, always being able to conquer the odds. So count your blessings on all levels. You feel me? Being black is beautiful. Sometimes having this quote unquote disadvantages is beautiful, and it's just based on your perception. So
Oh
that's
no,
what.
that was powerful, man. There's like I said, there's not a quick route to get anything that you want in this world, right? I tell people like some people like, hey, look, man, I was at a meeting with the SBA, Small Business Association, Monday. Um,
Mm,
when I went there, we was having conversations. Ended up having a mentor there, and some of the conversations we was having, I was like, man, this shit basic as fuck, right? But
mm-hmm.
a man had told my business partner, he said, look, if y'all do these necessary steps, I'm willing to mentor you into this business, right?
Mm-hmm.
A part of me was like, bro, I don't need these steps, man. Like he's not saying nothing that's too extraordinary, but at the same time, I'm accepting it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
see, I'm complaining, but I also got my blessing at the same time, right? Because I could have just been trying to do business on myself on my own, reading articles and try to go out there, you know, hammer things down when it might require a nail and a hammer. I maybe have a nail and
Mm-hmm.
chisel and a ladder. It might require a whole bunch of other materials and equipment. But
Mm-hmm.
here I got somebody who's willing to take me under their wing, just like, hey, look, follow these steps and I got you. We don't talk about when people saying, look, I got your back. I just need you to do this first, right? We
Mm-hmm.
complain about it. Didn't know want to fucking do it no more. I don't know why. Why? I have no fucking idea, right? People be like, hey, look, man, I can get you this job. Just go improve your resume. Man, why I got to do that? You know what I'm saying? You say I can get the job, but it still needs some type of professional. All right, man, might not ever even do it. And that was one of the quickest things they have to do, right? Or people be like, hey, look, man, when you come in, just look presentable. Hey, just remember, don't say too much. They'll tell you the smallest things to get to
Mm-hmm.
the other side, but you want to complain about it instead of just fucking doing, right? We just see some of those skits where you have the brother that's like at home, he got some basketball shorts on, somebody
Mm-hmm.
calling for a job interview. It's like, yes, this is John. Yes, I could be there at 11:30 tomorrow. Yes, what is the attire? Business casual? All right. I'll see you tomorrow, Shirley. Hell yeah, I got that fucking job. You know, you'd be happy, excited. Y'all even know how to code switch to get things you want if it's necessary. Y'all would be like, nah, the world got to accept me as me. I shouldn't have to change anything. And one of the biggest things I have to tell a couple people, I said, look, it's amazing that some of y'all want to go into corporate and don't understand your life is monitored inside and outside of that job.
Mm-hmm.
So if you really feel like you can wear any type of color hair, you can keep certain piercings on. I like, my God, I just talked to somebody who wants to go into politics. I said, me and X, we got a friend right now we went to middle school with in politics in Houston. That man, anytime I'm with this man, I do not pull out my phone. I respect him. I gotta respect his time. Cause he's
Mm-hmm.
like, bro, you don't understand. Like everything I do, in and outside, it's a headline for a news article. It's
Mm-hmm.
he didn't even told me about the situation. He was a headline in a news article, and he didn't even know about the situation he was in. He just happened to be present there, and they leveraged that against him because he's in politics. So you got to understand everything that comes with what you want. It's gonna be blessings. It's gonna be complaints. Which one you want?
Okay. All right. Another place I could take it is time is a blessing, right?
Right.
Whether it's more time in life, like I've said in previous podcasts, I sleep with a watch on. Uh, that's just how in tune I am with time. I wake up, I get this feeling of relief, enjoyment, gratitude that I woke up, I got more time. You know
Right.
what I mean? Let me check what I gotta get done for the day. Let me be thankful that I'm able to get these things done. Some people get so overwhelmed by being productive with their time that it drains.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to recharge, but it's like don't overlook the fact that at least you was able to accomplish something today. A lot of people live their life on a day-to-day basis, got 24 hours in a day, and don't do shit with
I'm sorry. I'm
it.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Some of them can go to sleep beautiful, get 4, 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep. They feeling great, ecstatic about life.
Bro, they even smacked back that day. It didn't do shit. They even smacked some back that day.
You ain't had time for that. You
I
probably
ain't
fell
got
asleep.
time for it,
You
man.
probably fell asleep in
Only
pool
on the
for it.
weekends,
You
man.
know
Only
what
on the weekends.
But most definitely be appreciative that you have time and that you're being productive with your time. I ain't gonna give you the whole spiel that greater is the reward to those who endure type shit, but most definitely uh, you already accomplished something within that particular day. You just got to be able to count your blessings and count your wins. Be able to count your wins. Sometimes people get preoccupied with how many times they feel like they lost and they forget to count the wins. So having time, utilizing it properly, definitely a blessing. Even if you feel like I'm too busy, I'm this, I'm that. Like I said, it's a lot of people that go day to day. They don't learn new information. They don't make new amounts of money. They don't form new relationships. They don't utilize their time properly. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said something great today. Time doesn't exist, clocks do. And that can tap into time self-perception or how time was changed over courses of time. I think now they're talking about the hours in the day is going through some type of change, like Earth is revolving, the sun or Earth is either revolving faster, either or, I can't remember which one, revolving. So most definitely be appreciative of your time, especially if, even to the people that just feel like you go to work and you work a lot. Still, that's a blessing. A lot of people don't have those opportunities. Some people are suffering from many different reasons why they can't go out there and perform and work and do these type of things. So definitely count your time as a blessing if it's spent wisely.
Time is an investment. Let's go ahead and put that out there. Time is an investment. What are your most limited source and your most valuable source is your time. How do you utilize it on a day-to-day basis is everything. We just did a podcast, not a podcast, episode not too long ago. We were talking about can structure work against you. That's another thing that we have to be able to look at when it comes to your blessings and your complaints. Some people say, "Hey, I don't got enough time in the day." Some people are like, "Well, you either stay up later or you wake up earlier." That's literally what I tell everybody. I ain't got no time for it. Hey, look, you're going to stay up later, you're going to stay up later, or you're going to wake up earlier. That's your only option in that case. Or start cutting back on the things you do, and you'll find out what it is that's taking up your time. Sometimes it's good to observe what you do on a daily basis and write it all out. That way you can go back and re-observe it. I remember a guy I met a long time ago, he said, for every time you complain or you bitch, you need to write out at least 2 things that are positive in your life. Hey, you didn't make the team? Who cares? What happened today? Hey, at least you tried. That's 99% of people don't fucking do. So it'd be like the smallest things that you think is so insignificant or it doesn't matter. It really says a lot about you, right? I like you tell people like, hey, I tried these jobs, I didn't get promoted, or I'm not getting the money I make. I said, you need to go fucking look around. I'm sorry, like they're not going to give you everything where you're at. Sometimes where you planted your feet the longest. It sometimes requires you to jump company to company, different houses to houses, right? We always 100% of our relationship, right? Hey, this person don't do this person don't do that. I'm gonna find me somebody else do it. We can do that with relationships, but we can't do that when it comes to like employment or our own business. That's the shit that tripped me out, bro. How is that weird? We that firm on relationships, but we not that firm on the money we want to make, decisions. I'm like, oh, y'all got me fucked up. I had to break it down to someone the other day. I said, it's amazing to me that if your end goal was to make this amount of money, become this type of person in this business, and you put all your time and energy for the last 5 or 7 years, they never gave it to you, but you still expect it. I said, there's no difference for a person who's in a relationship who expects a marriage, but still been in there for 10 to 15 years. That's laughable. When you can easily move out and go find what you want.
Facts. It's a blessing to always have the ability to upgrade your current situation.
It's a motherfucking blessing to upgrade.
So if you started complaining about what you have and you're not happy with it, you're working against yourself at that particular moment. It's not the relationship, it's not the situation, it's not the job. At that particular moment, you got to look in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? You're not taking advantage of a blessing that's already there for you. But what do some of us want? We want the shit to hit us in the face. Like, it's just, the new opportunity is just right there. All we got to do is just walk into it. Nah, sometimes you got to create your own new opportunities as blessings. And that's the concept of blessings that I don't like that people conceptualize, is that it falls out the sky. You pray for it, ask for it. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't actually believe that you have to go out there and create those new opportunities. You can bring blessings and abundance upon yourself. It's not always this universal thing that you particularly ask for. It comes about as compensations for your actions, things that you put out there. Some people tap into that karma aspect, but you can bless yourself. How about that? A lot of people don't utilize that power. Bless yourself. Stop always asking or looking for other people to connect dots, or stop always looking for who you pray to put shit on your doorstep. Go out there and get that shit.
Go get that
That's a
shit.
blessing. Go hustle.
Go
Being
hustle.
a
Yeah.
hustler is a blessing.
Hey, hey, you see me smiling? I'm gonna get our rap lyrics in a minute.
Yeah, that's my follow up on that. And throwing in something new, I would say like sometimes no one likes to lose uh close to them, quote unquote. And I can say me personally, a lot of times when I encountered grief, I had complaints about it. You know what I'm saying? I complained about different things, had negative emotions towards it. But underneath that veil of thought, it's like, okay, cool. What are the positives to this situation? You know what I'm saying? Like if I think that people's reaction towards grief sometimes is linked to the intellect and how they indoctrinate death. Sometimes that can be a beautiful thing because now if we actually look at it on a high level, that energy is not limited just to that person's body anymore. Feel me? Like there's so many different ways you can tap into that particular person's energy. You feel me? So yeah, so sometimes you definitely have to reconceptualize death and how we deal with grief. Sometimes we mourn the time that we can't get back and we forget to appreciate the time that we had, appreciate the impact that we have encountered through meeting people. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely a key point for me is I had to relook at how I conceptualize death and dealing with that. Sometimes it's a blessing to be able to just uh, encounter certain people before their demise. Imagine if you never met that person. Imagine if you never came across that family member. Or you never would have learned the beauty of knowing that person. It would have been an experience you never experienced. So we definitely have to work on how we conceptualize grief and get that high knowledge of it. Some people, you know what I'm saying, meditate on things like this. Some people try to reconnect with people that's passed and gone, and some people just leave it at surface level. But definitely, I would say being able to have great relationships with people, even in the event that they may demise, that's still a blessing. It's not a blessing that they're not here, but it's a blessing to be able to have that privilege of having a person's time. So,
Oh man, I was gonna touch up on something that you said earlier. Um, there's this thing called push, right? A lot of
mm-hmm,
people are gonna push themselves until they get to where they want to be, right? Then
mm-hmm,
you got people who push themselves, pray until something happens, right? I believe both of them can be
mm-hmm,
used, but at the same time, they said prayer without works has no results effect. So
mm-hmm,
when it comes to death, I never been the type that grieve too much, right? At funerals I've been to, I never was the one that cried. I always thought about positive stuff. Weird enough, right?
mm-hmm,
Weird, right? Like, when somebody dies, they'd be like, man, they ain't got no bills to pay no more, right? Like, it's shit. It'd be like the craziest things that come to my mind, and you know, but I have always been an optimistic person, right? Anytime people are going through a downward cycle, I'm still thinking about the most positive shit you can ever think of. Why? I don't know. My mind has just never been somewhat attracted to like always grieving or being down, and I'm always trying to uplift myself and other people around me. That's how you feel good about yourself, right? I like when people hit me up. I don't even know and just be like, hey man, I appreciate the information you shared. I used to have my email up in my bio at one point. I had different dudes from like uh, Canada, like different states hit me up like, man, I love your page, bro. And it'd be anywhere from like grown to like young adults and stuff. I'm not even knowing I'm connected with individuals, right? My quote at one point used to be, look, let's build something that they can't destroy. That's my mindset when I go to relationships. And they would literally put that quote before they even wrote me. Like, yo, I love that quote. And that was just something I randomly made up. You know, let's build something that they can't destroy. That's why I always say focus on your foundation. Get it so firm that nobody can penetrate it, right?
mm-hmm,
Remember, eventually foundations get shaky like a house, and you have to go back and reconstruct it later on within the years. But have it strong enough that you don't have to reconstruct it too soon. I want to be able to build nicely on it. You know what I'm saying? What they do houses, right? They build nicely on them foundations, right?
mm-hmm.
That's why some are one, some go to two, some go to three, and some are skyscrapers. You know what I'm saying? It can go as high as you want it to go, but the main thing is to always have that foundation there, right? I'm always thankful, right? I have a high appreciation factor, right?
Mhm.
A lot of people are shocked by that. I was like, yo, you have a high appreciation. Like, yeah, because I understand people ain't got to do shit for me. And a
Mhm.
lot of people are entitled to feeling like people got to do something. Damn, you ain't called me today. You didn't tell me good morning. You didn't ask how my day was.
Mhm.
So when they do it, at least appreciate they did reach out, right? You know what I'm saying? I told you before, man, I'm still like this to this very day. I can have a woman like come over and I'll be in the middle of like cleaning. She might help me clean. I'm just like, shit, man. We want to pop it those tonight, man. I don't know, man. It be the smallest shit. That's what I'm saying. My appreciation factor is just that high because I understand nothing has to be done for me. And when they do it out their own willingness, that's more powerful. That's why I always say I love the willing. I ain't got to do it. You ain't got to do nothing.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool. Cool. One of my last points would be living in America. You feel me? A lot of times, yeah, in America, man, a lot of times people can be within this country and we can look at the political atmospheres, we can look at everything we have problems with. And we can just be like, man, this country's fucked up, it's this, it's that. And we can point out all the negatives,
Straw
right?
man.
But this is not a third world country. We still have opportunities here that a lot of people don't have. So complaining about particular type of conditions is one thing, but let's use that as a catalyst to take advantage of the opportunities to change those situations. Let's not just live in the situations and keep shining a light on the problems, but we never come up with solutions. We
Mm-hmm.
still have to utilize the resources that we have here. Sometimes if you get caught up in complaining about the environment so much, you can become a loser and a victim to that area instead of using what's here. You know what I'm saying? We have constitutions, and some people will be like, okay, cool. Black people only 3/5 of a man. Okay, that's cool, but it's still black people that's taking advantage of some things that's within that constitution.
Mm-hmm.
It's still black people that's becoming millionaires on a daily basis. Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
What's the separation? The separation is the perception of what can I do to get out of this situation? How can I use the advantages of being here to my advantage?
Mm-hmm.
So now we just change the whole situation. I'm not being born a victim. I'm not being born with that type of mentality. Now we can give life to a new breed of people that can be born in better situations than we ever could experience, right? So definitely take advantage of the advantages within being in America. We have the freedom to do a lot of things. We can even carry guns. A lot of people can't even carry guns within their country. Feel me? That's a right within itself. Now, I'm not saying certain people got the rights to use those guns all the way the same in the legal system and the judicial system. But that'll show you the pessimistic side of what I'm trying to say. I'm telling you, be grateful for what you can use in your benefit, and then somebody will still point out where it can go wrong.
Right.
So we're not gonna have that conversation. Appreciate being here. Appreciate the freedoms and the liberties that we have here. Black, white, whatever the fuck you are, we still have advantages. So that's my cap on the whole America.
Man, I put like, listen, bro, there's doers and doubters, there's losers and winners. But being able to breathe is a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, they didn't hear me though. They didn't hear me though. They didn't hear me though.
Mm-hmm.
I said breathing gives you a chance to win though, man. They don't hear me, man. God damn, man. I be feeling like I be dropping bombs in motherfuckers sometimes. But but look, there's always advantages and disadvantages in living in this country, man. It's what you do with the situation, right? Myself, man, I started getting fascinated with government contracts, right? Local, state, federal. And I learned, I was like, bro, they got minority contracts up to like 800 million, 800 million in different industries and stuff set out just for minorities, right? I had the mind mentality. I said, bro, I'm not about to come into the game doing business like I'm a minority. Like, nah, I'm about to get it out the mud and do all this. But I was like, bro, with all these programs that go on, they're willing to help you out, right? One of these programs said, like, hey, you can stay part of our program until you make $100 million a year. Then we're going to kick you out. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, so you get these federal contracts and shit, and they won't kick you out till you make $100 million a year. I was like, why the fuck people just don't do these? Then, like I said, it's stuff that hits you in the head that you don't know is there, but it's up to people to want to research. This is what people, like I said, this is the separation between those who want to be employed and those who want to build outside in entrepreneurship. More just, you know what I'm saying? You're going to take some hits doing entrepreneurship for 100%. But I'd rather take them fucking chances to know, like, yo, there's mandatory money set outside to minorities, small businesses, and stuff like that. It's up to you to get out there and do it. I'm like, yo, y'all understand that federal contracts is guaranteed money. All you got to do is execute. So, and then you have some people like, well, I don't want to work for the government. I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that, bro. If I got guaranteed money and I don't have to go look for scraps, I'm going to go take that guaranteed money and to make sure I hit the qualifications, right? That's just one of the small things that America offers, right? No matter how insignificant they try to make us as Black individuals, we are some of the most appreciated people out there, bro. One of the biggest people. They always talk about LeBron. LeBron is known everywhere. Michael Jackson is known everywhere. Kevin Hart is known everywhere. Drake is known everywhere. It's amazing. Well, Drake not from America, but you get the point of making. It's a lot of things that go on within our culture that people appreciate that you can always see it. I just watched the goddamn Kids Bop video, man. They're still doing rap songs. You know, they still doing rap songs. They get Biggie, man, and Sorry Miss Jackson. Man, look, I don't know what to tell y'all, man. It's a beautiful day to be Black anytime you take advantage of it, right? You know what I'm saying? Just go out there and make things happen. Now, do I want to complain about stuff I do see? Absolutely. But what does that do for me? I got to be able to sit next to the man that I'm complaining about eventually in the future. And I got to compete with him. He's either going to be my ally or my enemy. Or we're not going to know each other. But I'd rather have more allies than it is to complain about not having the right people in my life, right? That's the main thing, man. Get yourself aligned with people who want to build with you. Stop complaining about shit. And don't call my motherfucking phone with that shit. That's all I got.
Facts. My last point is just be able to look at having the ability to think as a blessing, and you always want to think before you complain. And even if you end up complaining prior to thinking, let's get to thinking as quickly as possible, because we don't want to carry on this negative energy and have it work against us. So most definitely in the process of thinking, you can learn new information. You can apply the information to improve the situation. You don't have to just fall into the situation 10 times harder. Some people get hit with a health issue and they just, oh my God, why me? And then some people pick up their phone, they study. Right. What can I do to fix this? I'm still looking at having this device as a blessing, right? Back in the Gap, people really didn't have that type of access to information. They had to just strictly go by what the gatekeeper said, the doctor, you know what I'm saying? If they wanted to invest, they had to go see somebody to make those type of decisions. You feel me? So a lot of people didn't have the liberty of pulling out a computer out their pocket to study their diagnosis or study their symptoms, or you feel me? Like we could go to an app now and invest into stocks and all this type of shit. We ain't got to go and travel and set up appointments with this person and this firm. We have to information, and we have to look at these things as a blessing. And sometimes having quote unquote the disadvantage, it gives you that hunger to learn new things more. Look at it like that. If shit was given to you, you wouldn't know how to fight to get the shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that grew up poor and became rich, and then they start raising their kids and giving them everything that they never had, they start realizing, my kid's soft as shit. They don't have no adversity. I give them everything. So they trying to find ways to give them adversity, and then we have people complaining about adversity and disadvantages. You feel me? So that looking at it from different sides of the spectrum is always powerful. There is a blessing within having access to new information, being able to think your way out of situations. It gives you a zeal. That fight or flight mentality kicks in. Some people just only know to run. A lot of people don't know what it is to fight and overcome. So that's what I got on that.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that was good. I mean, I was going to say, it's like, look, remember all the blessings that you're trying to give out to other individuals, they might not be willing to accept at the same time. I got mentors right now. They told me their whole life was to build everything for their family and kids. Now that they're older, the kids don't want it. I'm looking online right now. I'm looking at people selling their business. They like, hey, look, my kids don't want it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I thought, you know, they'll take out the. I'm like, shit. Look at these people selling it. All these look. A lot of baby boomers are selling their businesses, right? Their kids don't even want it, right? Business already set in motion. There's a system in play. It's up to you just to keep it moving and hire the right people to keep it functioning. You know what I'm saying? Like an engine, you need the oil, you need all that stuff, but they're too lazy to want to learn it. So they're like, hey, look, man, I might as well just take this off my hands and let myself live for the remainder of my years. And that's another thing. Even sometimes your blessings is not what you create, is what's get created out of it, right? You know what I'm saying? If for instance, you got people who became NFL, NBA stars, their kids didn't have the same playing ability, but guess what? They might have created the next app. I can't think of the NBA player, sorry, but he created a big app, and that boomed off itself, right? He didn't have the playing ability. He uses intelligence instead. He uses smarts. He uses technology. So something is getting created out of everything that we do, even if it's not to the way we picture it. Just as how we hold on to it and how we nurture it, and how we keep things flowing. But yeah, that's all I got on the subject right now.
Cool. Is there anything like personal that you may have carried on for majority of your life that you complained about, and then maybe closer to your current age, you finally saw the blessing within it?
Oh, that I complained about.
Mm.
Mm.
Facts.
I don't know. I'm really trying to think about it. I'm not really sure, man. I try not to keep anything on to me too long. I think that fuck me up. I don't know. I guess I gotta think on it. I don't think really anything. I mean,
Okay.
you have to give me an example.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. For me, case in point, I would say like childhood experiences that impacted me on quote unquote negative ways emotionally. Whether it was like traumatic experiences, uh, things within that nature. I carried on a lot of complaints about that shit for the majority of my life.
Oh,
Getting
man.
closer, getting closer to an older age, I'm like, damn, I could really flip this shit into like the blessing perspective, because I could look at it as like this shit may have made me grow up faster, but that gives me an edge over the people that's currently my age. You know what I'm saying? So some people could go through traumatic experiences throughout their childhood, and it can destroy them for life. Some people could take that same energy and become a millionaire and a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? You got people like Tyler Perry. He was homeless at one point. Now he's a billionaire. The list goes on and on and on and on. Sometimes you really don't get to those optimal levels of success, sometimes without that grit in the beginning. Now, so that's just a way to look at it. So most definitely, me personally, I carried a lot of shit from childhood. Didn't really utilize it as a blessing per se until later in life. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm kind of thankful I went through that type of shit. I followed CC Fletcher. CC Fletcher got abused throughout his childhood. That's the whole energy, the whole mantra behind his whole brand is persevere through pain. Now the whole world relates to his energy and story because he went through that shit. So that's like an example.
Oh man, I guess the situation for myself would be not executing things that I should have, right? A part of me feels like I'm behind by like 5 years, but I'm only 31. And the reason why I said like 5 to 6 years is because I took that time out to kind of chase a mirage and not buckling down learning skills. Like who I am now, I felt I should have been at 25. And who I was supposed to be at 25, I'd probably be fucking well. I'll probably be like on some big shit right at the age of 30. So I'll say that chasing a mirage is one of the things I have held on. Like, damn, what if I didn't do that shit? Okay, what if I did buckle down and do, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, I can say on my end. We actually got a question right now. It just popped up. What about complaining about things that you had the privilege to make it happen? Oh, talk about it right now. Things I felt like I should have been accomplished at an earlier age. Shit, I feel it makes me feel like I'm behind. But yet, even me feeling like I'm behind, it's still people that's telling me at my present age, you're ahead. So you'll fight yourself mentally. I do have one of them mindsets that, hey, look, I fight myself mentally a lot. I have more conversations in my head than I actually have with people in real life. It's not on a basis like I'm crazy or something. It's just like you want to be able to speak positive in your head and ask yourself questions that get your brain thinking. The way I talk to myself is to get myself thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. Basically, I'm keeping myself on a path. I want to stay ahead. I want to think ahead of the next individual. What's the next step once it's accomplished? Like I just been executing things down the list this whole year. That's why I made a statement the other day. I said, look, it usually takes somebody to tell me, hey, you have grown to know that I've grown. This year, I could just simply feel that shit.
Okay. Quick example, answering the question. Billy Carson gave a breakdown of epigenetics being linked to trauma throughout your DNA gene pool. One of the exercises that he brought up to rewrite your DNA was for 21 days, write and speak out loud positive affirmations 3 times a day. Then you can begin to rewrite some of that DNA, right? So it's like you always have the power to rewrite your own history, your everyday story. You got that power to change your situations. So having that privilege, having that ability to change things is always powerful. We just can't get so wrapped up in the things that we don't like and get comfortable there. You always have to have that ability to move, make things happen, be in a position of power. You feel me? These things aren't granted and given to the weak and mind. You have to be strong mentally to realize that you can change your situations. So being a complainer really gets you nowhere in those particular spaces, unless we just identifying problems. So hopefully that answers the question. Complaining is one thing, but to me, it's always what you do prior or after that process of complaining. Now that we put it on the drawing board, what are we going to do about it? If we're not going to do nothing about it, now we fall in victim, and I can't fuck with that, right? I always live by that motto, I self-law and master. You feel me? Islam. There's certain mantras that people keep in their brain on a day-to-day basis, right? People that actually been through shit got to work 10 times harder to remind themselves of how to get to the next step. So I keep a lot of shit around me, positive quotes. If I don't have time to just do everything I want to do that day to be positive, I got certain shit I can look at to bring me peace, certain things I can read. Always want to surround yourself with positive energy, positive vibes, and that can give you more of that thinking mentality that, hey, it's still a privilege to be able to change this shit. So hopefully that answers the question.
Right. But like I said, one thing that's positive today, I post a quote of the day every day. Just quotes. As soon as I wake up, I post it between like 7 and 10 o'clock, majority time, 9 o'clock on the dot. That's just me. I need something to wake up to, and I share with everybody that's on my social media. Like, hey, look, quote of the day. People screenshot it, repost it on their own stuff. Some of the smallest things. Oh yeah, candle of the time being is Burger Waters. You know, I ain't even telling y'all the candles have been lined up lately. You know what I'm saying? We got a new one. This is for all my brothers that got it's a masculine smell. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely gonna tell you like this. We have something beautiful come over, but she got to be cooking though. But I'm relaxing right now.
All right. For sure. All right. We can wrap that up on that.